Kids and cadets, happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Tommy Time. Let's get serious about small engines and small engine repair. No, I lied. We're not going to get serious about shit. So yesterday's video, I was messing with this lawn boy. You guys were a tremendous help. We went through this thing, finally got it to act normally. Somebody had opened up the cartridge here. Bigger than the Grand Canyon, as my brother in Phoenix could testify. Got a huge opening here. The gasket, O-ring gasket for the bowl was blown out. We did that. We got this thing to run. So the requests for these cartridges are coming in. Keep emailing me if you haven't. 246-810. I'll take those in order on the emails. Even emails. I'm gonna send you guys a new cartridge, and this is what the cartridge number is: 592792. It fits the 550E EXI. For those of you that have already emailed me and you're the even emails, you're going to get a cartridge. Don't drill them out. I didn't drill this one out and it ran fine. Tommy.time@Yahoo is my email. So we had this Poulan Pro. This is a 2013 lawnmower. We got a Poulan Pro 2016, and I decided to check this thing out. It's got a 500 E series engine. So we'll discuss the blade. The blade was a big issue with this. This thing fired off and stalled, and when it did run for a second, extreme amount of vibration. The AYP-486 Bravo Papa is what's on here. The AYP-486 might work. It's a 21-inch. So let's see why this thing was vibrating. I'm assuming it was lopsided. You got a big sandblast here, and on this end they hit something. The whole end of the blade here is gone, so you get the vibration, uneven amounts of metal. So I think it was time for a blade, and I'm guessing this is probably the original blade that was on the Poulan Pro. I threw another one on it, so that's done. I don't want to start it and have it shake itself to death. So on this lawn boy, I was concerned with low compression. We had 35. I adjusted the valves on the lawn boy. I had got it up to 47. Just as a dry run, I want to compare this Poulan Pro with that engine and see if we've got better compression or the same. I think I might have a cheap or inaccurate Chinese pressure gauge here, because these engines shouldn't be running on less than 50 psi. That lawn boy shouldn't have started with 47. Let's pull this 2016 over newer machine. Let's see what we can get out of this turd. If it's about the same, then I'm just going to have to pay attention to my gauge and realize that anything under 50 is going to be acceptable. We should probably remove the cover and the original air filter, maybe. I want pre-flow on the intake. Okay, what do we got? We got 25, 30, 37 psi. So similar to the Lawn Boy. What do we got now? 25, 30, 37 again. And it's holding. So I'm just going to have to pay attention to my gauge. It appears the gauge is inaccurate as far as the reading, but it's consistent. If that Lawn Boy run and this one started installed, so we know we got compression. So it's just something to be aware of in the future for me. I think I only paid 15 or something, 16 for this thing. Okay, let's put this to the side. Let's put the plug back in it. It had an auto light 5924, so I'm gonna go with what was in it. I've had an experience where I went to I don't want to throw them under the bus, but a large auto parts store nationwide, and they did a cross-reference. I told them I had a Champion RC12YC, and they gave me a auto light from their cross-reference, and the auto light was a longer thread plug, and I could hear the piston tapping the spark plug, so that was their wrong cross-reference. So let's see if this thing acts weird. I'm going to remove the plug. I have a Champion nearby if we've got to switch it out. Okay, so we know what we got to do. We got to do a carb clean on this. Let me get it up on my scissor jack, which is in off. I'm going to have to manually lift this thing up. I still got to add hydraulic fluid to my jack, so let me get this thing up here and then we'll go to work. More work, less talk. I gotta get Mr. Cluck. If he's not helping me, all shit's gonna break loose. Okay. Now we can do it. I'll stick you here. The sun's at a good place. I'll remove the recoil first. We got 8mm. That one was rusty and tight. I think my battery's getting a little weak. I'm going to have to charge it after this. So this will be a good selling TURD once it's cleaned up. New blade, clean carb. The only thing I see is the cage around the muffler needs to be tightened up. That rattle loose. We've got 4 10s on the intakes and some nearby. I'm gonna throw a socket on these and just see if they're loose. Tight, tight, tight. Just give them 1/8 of an inch turn. Okay. Coil's not rubbing the flywheel. I won't mess with that. Let's concentrate on the carb. You've seen me do this a number of times, so the linkage here is rubbing the hose. So this has been manipulated. You could see the hose is coming off and it's kind of dragging here. It actually wore a little track in the breather hose. Something like that's probably better. So that tells me somebody's been in here. So I don't know how good this thing ran, if it had resistance with the linkage binding up here. So that's the first thing I see. I got a clean container. We're gonna look at the fuel. We know we gotta fuel something or other because it started installed our telltale sign. Squirt a little carb cleaner in there, and if it stalls out, we got water in the gas or plug jets. So we're super psyched with the Lawn Boy starting Monday. That's a good way to start off the week. How you guys doing? Are you stocking up like I am on inventory? Just waiting for the rainy weather. Still beautiful here in Southwest Florida, 74, 75. Everybody wants to be here. Okay, the O-ring and the white keeper stayed on the tube, so at least they were in place. This is the part I like. I want to see what's in the tank. I'm going to pour what's in the tank in the container. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're getting wonton soup, and I didn't even ask for Chinese for lunch. Oh my word. Oh, and the water's just starting to separate right now. Oh boy. We got a little water trough down there. What do you think? Garbage a la mode. We don't want that. We don't want 2 layers. So let's keep going. Let's see what's in the bowl. We're gonna work on that after I separate the fuel line here. I probably should have cleaned off the exterior of the carb. You guys are gonna bust my ass, but I'm trying to keep the video going at a decent rate. Use all my intestinal fortitude to get that hose off. Shaky, shaky. Some more on the tank. I'll blast that off in a minute. Now's the critical moment. What do we got in here? I say half fuel, half water. What do you say? I'm gonna grab my big flathead. Separate this bad boy. They were cutting more dirt than they were cutting grass. What the heck? Who wants to cut dirt? The blade sure shows it. Sandblasted all the heck. Let me get a... Oh, there we go. We just popped it. Okay, let's not spill any. I want to see. This is an experiment. It doesn't look bad here. I don't see anything that's jumping out at me. But you never can tell. I'm not in the direct sun, so... Don't know, maybe a little bit of water. I'm going to put it in here with the rest of it. They can all co-mingle as one happy family. Okay, that's done. Now let's look at the main jet. See if that's goobered up. Yeah, it's well, it's got some fuel in it. It seems to be open, but clean looking here. Let's pop the cartridge and see. If we got any snot. Separate the secondary jet. Oh, we're blocked right here. It's goobered up with snot. The last few I've done seem to be open on the main. Secondary jet here's been plugged up. So this is following a trend, the Tommy Time trend. My dirty fingerprints are getting all over this thing. Let me get a smaller blade. Or my screwdriver. Put them somewhere else. Where'd I put them? I was doing another project and shifted the 3 flatheads somewhere. Okay. Okay, we're making it. Not bad. It's just this is goobered up with snot. So this is going to be an easy remove, clean, replace, put it back together, jump up and down 3 times and sing the Star Spangled Banner backwards in French, and then it's all going to work out. How you guys do that? You guys can do that. Anything's possible. My fingers and block the holes and then blast up the tube. You can see the mist pouring out of there. Okay, those are clean. I'm going to put those up here. Blast a little bit. Oh yeah, we're all blocked up. That secondary jet sits up in there, and we're all goobered up in there with a bunch of shit. So I'm going to try to blast that out of there. Yeah, I know, I didn't clean the outside. So I started up here first, and it ended up pushing that snot down. Get that one in there, and then this one here. And this here is your little breather nipple. I just give that a little blast. And we're open. We're open there. I can see we blasted that snot out. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to put it back together again. I just hooked my air gun on your ankle. That's why the camera moved. Okay, that's clean. Put that up here. We got to blast out the bowl. We got more blasting. Happy with that. Grab the tank. Just drop the bowl. Come on, Bowl. I'm gonna need you in a few minutes. How dare you try to run away from me? I'm gonna sick Mr. Cluck after you. You try to run away again and you're gonna get pecked. Mr. Cluck. Make sure nothing happens. Looks good. I'm going to take the cap. I like to blast some air through here just to make sure it's breathing. So there's a little breather hole here and then two on the inside. Sometimes I've blasted air in here and then all up here on the seam water pours out. This one's dry. Okay. Thanks for holding my air gun. Looking at this again, we got a lot of snot. Get this out of the way. Put that down. Now let's put this piece of crap back together again. Start with my cartridge. Squeeze it back on. Yep, can almost guarantee a taco lunch that secondary jet was our culprit. My pin's getting off track here. Push that back up. I can see my needle moving. Line up my holes and just push. Yep, this is much better than the Lawn Boy gasket. We had to change that one out due to the fact it was so blown up, but then the secondary one I put in was a little expanded, but we got it to fit. This one here went right in without any issues. It knew Mr. Cluck was on duty, and if there was any shenanigans, that would have been the end of it. Gonna power this one down carefully. Okay, let's put the rag over the carb. We're gonna blast some air up in here. Maybe take some oil up the recoil since we have it off. Blast any debris that might get lodged up in here behind the valve cover. There's some fins here. You want to make sure there's no dirt, gobbers, or leaves. This is an air-cooled engine. We want air flowing over the aluminum fins. Okay, let me grab my oil squirter. We're going to squirt some used motor oil here on the hauls just to help this thing along. A couple of squirts, find my spring here, and squirt down the hole. Cover the spring with some old oil. These things can rust if they're outside. Water gets in there and your spring rusts. The spring will actually rust in half and break. We don't want that. We want to keep it lubricated. Now it's happy. It's happy, it's alive. Okay. Oh, I think we should put the tank on and the carb on. What do you say? We're gonna do the carb. I'm gonna take my 8 and just hand tighten these two up back here, the 2 8s that hold the tube to the block. Let's do that. A little bit of loose, a little bit loose. Okay, now we're happy. Let's mount the O-ring and the keeper to the carburetor. O-ring goes in. The white plastic keeper keeps it in place. Okay. Z-bend on the linkage. Keeping our air breather tube above the linkage so there's no restriction. Jimmy that on. We're all looking good. Time for the tank. I'll get the tank started in the groove and then put the hose over the nipple and finish pushing the tank down. Kind of a 2-step process, seems to work. Hose clamp in place. Okay, we're looking good. Looking very good. Recoil. Let's put the backing plate on. I just keep wanting to take care of that recoil. But it's not time yet. Just blasted out some of the crap back here on this backing plate. Okay, yeah, I think we're doing a lot better with the hose on the top, because it was really kind of binding things up. Okay, here's my 8. Now we're going to start with 7s first. 7s go here on the plastic. I like to get those started. And then line up the sheet metals second. Okay, where are you? Let me manipulate the carburetor around a little bit. Something was off. My little breather nipple popped off, this little white thing. I'm going to try to not remove the whole carb and get this thing back in place. There we go. Yeah, my metal bracket here is off kilter. So I got to see what I got to do to push and pull this thing. Okay, it's close. I think I can do it. I'm just gonna have to manhandle this. It's not the way I really want to do it. They run into a brick wall and bang the sheet metal here out of place. Okay, we're gonna plow ahead. I think I got it lined up where it's gonna be acceptable. I sure hope this thing starts. It'd be an embarrassment to have the lawn boy run and this simple fix on the Poulan Pro not work. It would make me a terrible zippy tied certified shade tree mechanic, and I don't want that. I want to be somewhat lucky in fixing this junk. Even if there's no skill involved, I want to have plenty of luck. So if you've got a 550E, EX, or EXI, email me. The 246810 people that email me are gonna get one. And if you still need to be certified with the zippy tie, email me as well. And I'll get those in the mail. I got a lot more certification stickers than I do the cartridges. That's why I'm limiting it to the 5. First 5 even emails. But if you want your own 5-pack, I have the description listed from the eBay seller, and I'll list it again today on the Poulan Pro video. I don't know if they'll work on the 500 series. They probably will, because we had discovered the brass jets were a little undersized, so they'd probably work on the 500 series. Okay. We're coming along. This is all on. Hose is on. Tank is on. This is on. I'll put the crappy filter back in just temporarily. I'll clean up all this later. I just want to see if this thing's going to start. Let's get it on the ground transfer fuel with my battery powered fuel transfer pump, and see if this thing starts. New blade like I showed you, so let's go to town. I'm gonna put the side chute on. This thing came with a side chute, but it got knocked off. Okay. I'll pull it in behind the lawn boy, and we'll do the fuel transfer. Thanks for holding the air gun. Safety first, Mr. Cluck. You supervise if I make any mistakes. You start clacking, okay? goes with the lawn boy. It doesn't take a lot of fuel. Just give it a couple second on and off, and it's going to give you enough to cover the bottom of the tank. Perfect. Let any of the fuel in the pickup run back into my container. Ta-da! Okay, so that's done. How'd I do, Mr. Cluck? Oh, good. Oh, good. I did it properly. Let's check oil. I think there was enough in this, but as always, you want to check your oil. I may grab a bit and tighten up the cage. Yeah, there's oil in it, but it needs to be changed. Let me grab, looks maybe like, is it a 1/4 inch on those sheet metals? If I vaguely remember that. It is a 1/4 inch socket. So a little twisty on that one. Okay, there's one out of the 3 sheet metals is missing, but the 2 that are still left in place tighten down really well, so I don't think we're going to have any vibration. Okay, let's stop clucking and get pulling. Should sound a lot different with the new blade on it. That imbalanced blade was really Rattle City. Okay, screw up at Tommy time, realized I didn't put my receiver in the iPad. I just had my microphone on. I need the receiver, so maybe you didn't hear anything. Hopefully this thing worked out. I'll check it out. If it worked out, I'll post it. If not, well, I just wasted 40 minutes talking to Mr. Cluck. Tip you waitress and wait staff. Have a good day today.